The distraught mother of tragic teenager Jay Slater has described how his family is tormented by so many questions after his disappearance in Tenerife. Debbie Duncan sobbed as she described how she could not get her head around Jay's 19 decision to hop in a car with two older men and drive to their secluded Ayrton flat following a music festival. And because Jay would never let his phone run out of charge, Debbie, 56, said she thought it was possible that he would have left the apartment fearing for his safety the following morning. Why did he leave there without charging his phone? She asked. His phone would always be charged. There are a ton of inquiries. Debbie disclosed that she had a conversation with Jay several hours prior to his departure, and his final words to her were, "I love you, Mother." Utterly devastated, Debbie broke down in tears as she sat with her 24-year-old older son Zach for her first interview since Jay's corpse and belongings were discovered on July 15 in a gully in the rural Daytino National Park. As we disclosed yesterday, the horrifying finding ended a torturous 29-day search that attracted international notice and sent Debbie into a furor that has seen her harassed by ill ghouls. Jay, who traveled with friends Bradley Hargreaves and Lucy May Law, went missing on Monday, June 17, shortly after leaving the Ayrton property at around 8 in the morning. The apprentice bricklayer, who had been vacationing with friends Bradley Hargreaves and Lucy May Law, vanished from the Ayrton flat on Monday, June 17, at around 8 in the morning. At 8:50 a.m., Jay of Oswald Twistle, Langs, called 18-year-old Lucy to report that he had cut his leg, was disoriented, dehydrated, and had just 1% charge left in his phone. 25 miles north of his Los Cristianos condominium, in the rugged rural Daytino Park, Jay traveled the wrong way from the Ayrton Benmasca, which is where his phone last rang. Debbie added that she was haunted by the reason Jay, who had attended the NRG Music Festival in Playa de las Americas, got into a car with the two men between 5 and 6 in the morning. Later on, it was discovered that one was East London drug dealer Ayub Qasim, who had been imprisoned, and the other was an associate known as Rocky. Debbie, the school assistant, also asked why his buddy Lucy did not hurry to get him. "I don't know what he thought he was doing by going with these two guys," she said, fighting back tears, to The Sun. "Actually, I'm not sure. I simply don't understand why he went with them instead of returning to his own friends. We imagine that he hasn't realized where he is headed." And darkness fell. "I simply believe that he hasn't given it any thought or realized where he was headed." At 7:30 a.m., Jay shared a Snapchat photo of himself smoking outside the flat. Afterward, he appeared to have been informed that the bus to his hotel wouldn't leave until 10 a.m., so he took the wrong route. When asked if his fear allowed him to flee, Debbie replied, "That thought crossed my mind." Jay refused to allow his phone to die. He would take immediate action to use a phone charger if he had one available. Why, then, did he object to being there? What prevented him from waiting around to charge his phone? One of these individuals claimed to have handed him a charger, so why wasn't his phone charged? I can't think of many instances in which Jay hasn't been reachable. When he does, he will give me a call. He called me from one of his buddies and said, "Mom, it's me." So I have half of his friends' numbers saved on my phone. The two men were let to depart Tenerife by Spanish police, who promptly declared them to be not relevant to the inquiry. Jay came to the house alive, and he left the house alive, stated Qasim, 31, who had used a bogus name to reserve the urn. Debbie, however, stated, "I don't know why they interviewed and let them go," in reference to the Spanish detectives. "I'm not sure which day they were questioned." She mentioned that she would like to question the men who lived with Jay for his final hours, but that she had not heard from them. "I would like to speak with them, probably in time," Debbie stated. "I would like to know what was going through Jay's head and why he left." It has been suggested by former detective Mark Williams Thomas, who flew to Tenerife to look into Jay's disappearance, that Jay took the incorrect path out of the apartment. It was an app's recommended route. "I looked on all different ways on the app, and none of them took you up. They all took you down," Zach, Jay's brother, countered. To get back to the bottom, you would have to drive around Tenerife if you went up. Debbie went on, I just can't get it into my head why he would have gone the whole opposite way. I just can't comprehend it. I simply cannot understand why he would go the opposite direction and not descend towards civilization.